Yeah, welcome to another WIP Wednesday. I'm Lizfaerie.
Hey guys, I'm Joey.
I actually remembered to introduce myself this
Nice.
time.
Got it.
So we took a week off last week and we did a finished Friday, I
Pieces
guess.
Friday
because we didn't really have that much to show you guys for WIP Wednesday, and we don't have that much to show you this week either, to be honest. But we have more than we had like for the last couple weeks,
right?
So that's something at least. So I guess we should get started.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and if any of you guys missed it last week, we actually got to 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So
hooray.
that's pretty amazing and awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're new, then you can subscribe if you like, or whatever you want.
I know, right?
But
do as you will, but we'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribe, comment if you.
And if you're already a new subscriber, then thanks for showing up to the WIP stream. And we're glad to have you in this weird thing that we've been doing for a while. This is already the 28th one.
I know, right? It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy, yeah. Okay, so first thing that I want to show you guys is this is a new old pony. It's actually the same pony from before, but I finally decided, I think I've mentioned to you guys before, that I wasn't happy with it just having black, like plain black hair and the gray hooves. So I actually cut all of that off. I took a video of it. It was very sad and painful. But yeah, I cut all of that off and pulled all of the fibers out.
You gotta record that.
I recorded some of it. I don't think I recorded the whole thing, but like I wanted to put it in the video because it was so sad. But as you can see, I'm giving it a rainbow treatment now. It's eventually going to be a rainbow unicorn or potentially a Pegasus. I haven't actually quite decided yet, but I think I'm gonna go unicorn just because it would be a little easier and faster to just make it a horn and stick it on there.
Right.
So I
play around with making a horn.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of something that I would like to do, and I'll talk more about that later when we talk about the doll that I've
hard accessories, attachments.
Exactly. So we'll go into more of that later. But so yeah, I've been wanting to make this one a cuter, like a cuter thing than just a plain horse for a while, and so I settled on doing the rainbow unicorn. And all I've done so far is the foundation row for the hair and the tail. So I'll show you guys that closer up. You can kind of see the really cool gradient that it has going.
Yeah, I know. It looks really nice even from that distance.
Also, side note, it actually looks a little nicer on this camera for some reason. On the other camera, the closer one, it tends to show this dark purple here as more of a dark blue. And you'll see when I show it on the camera. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I actually put a little disclaimer. See how it looks more like a dark blue?
Yeah, right.
If I put it really close, you can kind of sometimes see the
funny.
Color a little bit on the edge there. But for the most part, you can't really quite see it in the exact same color. And the same thing with this purple, too. It looks a little bit more blue. But this is more of like a lavender shade, and this is more of a violet. So it's kind of weird that the camera does that, but it does, unfortunately. So we have a couple of little spots here that I've, you can see the tiny little hint of the violet right there at the base. But I wasn't able to fit all of the colors onto the little tail foundation as I have here on the main.
Less space to work with.
But I am going to try to include all of the colors in the tail as well. I'll just anchor the strands on top of the in-between colors.
Right.
But I am making a tutorial for this. I was hoping to get it out for Pride Month, but, things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I could still potentially get it out because I have most of it finished. I literally just have to put the hair on the doll.
It just has to be haired.
Yeah.
Needs to be haired.
So I just have to put the hair on the doll. If I can, I'll try to get it out before the month is over, but it's not looking good, guys. So, on that note, also, Hey, Demon Lee, what's up? It's nice to see you again. Here's that centaur that I made with the same tutorial as the horse. But, this one I also have been on the fence of what to do with it, and this one I think I am going to also make it like a unicorn girl centaur. So, cool. Yeah. I also have made, tail foundation on her, but I actually used this one. I used a different method, and both of these are going to be in the tutorial. But you can see this one is a variegated yarn instead of different colors of yarn using color changes. So for this one I'm using, I believe the yarn is called Monet. I'm not sure. It's either Monet or watercolor or something. Yeah, it is still Pride, but I don't know if it will be when this video comes out. But I guess I'm showing you this for Pride, guys. But
you guys made it. Everyone here for the live stream.
So this one's going to be more of like a pastel shade rainbow aesthetic instead of like the rainbow bright that I'm going for here. And this one's going to be in a very particular order where it's like doing like a gradient, like an actual rainbow. And this one is kind of just going to be random, different variegated shades, just kind of like watercolored together.
No, I like that.
So
that's going to be
it'll be a completely different aesthetic, but in a good way.
Yeah, but still like rainbow in a sense.
Yes. If any of you guys saw my watercolor afro doll that I made a while back, I haven't finished her yet, so she might pop back onto the WIP Wednesdays eventually when I work more on her.
Character.
I know I have to work more on her. She's one of my favorite dolls that I've been working on like to date. But if you guys have seen her, this is actually one of the same yarns that I used for her hair. So she's got a similar color. So I'm hoping that that's kind of a similar color scheme that the tail and hair for this centaur is going to come out. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Very nice.
And I'll try to get that out by the end of the month, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. So, speaking of Pride, let me show you guys the video that I did get out for Pride. Just yesterday it came out. I put out my beginner's tutorial for color changes. So I was actually using the opportunity to make a tutorial for a pride flag. I have it upside down. Here it is. So here's my pride flag. All the ends are not sewn in. They appear to be sewn in the tutorial. That's actually not true. That's movie magic for you. I did not sew my ends in because I did not have time. I have been running so low on time trying to get these unicorn girl centaur person beast. Yeah, I love those. I've seen a couple of art pieces of people drawing them, and also in the doll face up community, a lot of people make unicorn girl dolls out of certain dolls. So yeah, that is something that I've always wanted to do. So here's my pride flag. I have a couple. I actually made 2 different ones in the same colors. And again, it's the same thing with this violet. The color
on the bottom,
it does not. It's purple. It's purple. It's not blue. It looks like dark blue.
We swear.
Let me show you guys this a little bit larger and a little closer up. Yeah, you can kind of see more accurately. Still looks a little blue, but it is definitely purpler than that. Just a little bit purple. Yeah, that is exactly what color it is, Demonly. It's the Red Heart Monet. Yeah, that's exactly what color it is. I wasn't sure if it was the watercolor or Monet, but I think it is Monet.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it is Monet. So, so I made these 2 pride flags. I love the colors that I picked for them. I can't remember exactly what they are, but I'm pretty sure most of them are Red Heart. Maybe not the blue. I'm not sure actually, but but this green I love. This is Glowworm, from Red Heart. This is one of my favorite yarns like ever. I got this one to make Peridot with. So it's a really, really nice bright, almost like chroma green. But yeah, if I hold it up to the camera, it makes a nice little rainbow background. This is what I used for the end card of my video that I just put out.
Yeah. Nice.
So so there's those. And then also I actually taught the color change itself with this, which this is the bi flag. It's I kind of cheated a little bit. It's actually supposed to be this way and be like long, and I kind of just got tired, so I stopped. I stopped way earlier than I should have. So it's the other way. It's fine. Is there like an official statement somewhere that it has to be this way? I don't know.
Just need to be those dimensions specifically. That ratio.
So yeah, that's another one that I did in that tutorial, but yeah, that was just to teach color changes, but while actually making something that like is not just a random piece of piece of cloth that I'm going to have to frog later. Because that's what I've been doing for the majority of my beginner series. It's kind of a little bit ridiculous. I'm starting to have such a giant pile of things that I still have to frog and use for something else. But these little flags I can probably, like, I don't know. I can probably do something with these. These are cute.
Yeah, right. Those would be cute just to throw up somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, I don't mind having these. And this one, like, I might frog this. I don't know. But it's small enough that it won't be super irritating to frog.
I know, right? It will be fairly quick work.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do the Greg first. Because I've only done a little bit of work on Greg. He's actually still attached to yarn, so be careful of not unraveling him.
This one.
Yep. Should be. I don't think there's anybody else that color in there.
No, I wasn't sure if his burned portion was attached to anything.
No, it's not. Not anymore. So here's my Greg universe that I've been working on for a little bit.
It's Mr. Greg.
Oh man, I'm so excited to make him that outfit when I make him. I'm gonna make him a Mr. Greg outfit, and it's gonna be so good. I want to make all of them. Yeah, I know. Especially Pearl. I really want to make one for Pearl. I'm so excited to make one for Pearl. Yeah. Anyway, getting off topic. But so this Greg is gonna look like he's less done than last week, and that is because he is, but he's also not at the same time. Let me explain. Last week I actually started making the leg, and I got down to the knee, and I kind of just realized that I somehow made the leg way skinnier on one side than the other, so I did end up frogging it and starting it over again.
Yeah, I think we did bring that up.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah. And now it's a lot more close to the right size, the hole that is there, and how many you can use a ball winder to frog. Well, I don't have a ball winder, but either way, like, that's cool. I could see how that would work. But also I could see how that could go horribly wrong. But anyways, but I actually realized I left out like 1 or 2 stitches too, so that might be the real culprit. Okay. It wasn't just a tension issue, because I was wondering, just because usually tension isn't that, it doesn't make that huge of a difference. Totally. So I was like, I don't know. I was a little suspicious of myself, so I looked back, and sure enough, I had left out I remember at least 1 stitch that I picked up that I had left out. But I might have left out 2. I don't remember. I think maybe there were 2. I don't remember. That was like literally like earlier today. Why do I not remember that?
There's too many things going on.
Yeah, there's just too many things going on. So hopefully now with those stitches picked back up again, Greg's leg will come out the right size. Hopefully it doesn't come out bigger this time, because I could definitely see that happening. I love Greg's beard too. I think it's gonna look so good when I finish his actual face and do the pulling in at the eyes and like all of the I'm excited. I've been wanting to make Greg for a long time, so I'm finally like living my dream of making Greg.
Serious, big fan of Greg.
He's a really cool looking character too. Like, he's just got like a lot of cool features, like the sunburn and the stubble and like his half bald head and like,
with the long flowing hair, but still bald head.
Yeah, and then also the clothes that he wears, like how it shows his sunburn. Like, they could have just as easily made it so that he's wearing clothes that covers his sunburn, but they didn't choose to do that, and it's just cool that you can see it.
Attention to detail.
Yeah, I love how much little details are in all of the characters, really.
Just throughout Steven Universe.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. I really like his body type too. It's just a really cool, like, different body type than I've worked on. So, the next thing is gonna be the Yoshis.
Bring over the Yoshi.
So this is the weird looking Yoshi, because it doesn't have eyes yet, but it also doesn't have the cheeks yet, like, so it has these weird holes in its face.
Head at? I can't tell.
So I have 3 different stages of Yoshi. Last time I showed you this Yoshi, I don't think it was stuffed yet, and I don't think it had a skeleton or a leg. So you can also hand me the pink one, because the pink one is like the next level along.
Level up Yoshi.
Yeah, so here's what it would look like if it had the cheek things on it. And then also this one has the inner mouth put in, and also the little upper lip done, where this one does not. Which actually, that's kind of an optional thing, because you could just like sew the mouth closed so that it was just a closed-mouthed Yoshi.
Yeah.
So let me show you the two not finished ones first, closer up, and then I'll show you guys the slightly more finished one. Because there's, you might have seen in the thumbnail, there's one that I have that's pretty close to being done now. So here's the not as finished one, but this one does have a skeleton, which is nice. I didn't put a skeleton in the pink one just because I had already stuffed it, and I didn't really want to go through the trouble of unstuffing it.
Right.
And fitting a skeleton in, not to mention making the skeleton, because they just take forever to make.
It's a lot of work. Just have a squishy one.
Yeah, and it is nice to have a squishy one, just to see like how it holds up to not having a skeleton, kind of. Because I do like doing that. That's what I did with this guy, the pony. This pony doesn't actually have a skeleton; it's a floppy pony. But I do like having some.
Keeps its shape really well.
Yeah, I know. I do like doing that just to see, like, it does keep its shape really well without needing a skeleton. So that is just a nice thing about the pattern.
Yeah.
So eventually I'm going to make some little circles to put on the cheek and cover up those little holes, because it's just easier to get the shape without, like, with leaving these holes here. Kind of. It's just faster and easier and less sewing of the face, so I just do that just to be faster. That's kind of what I've been doing for these Yoshis since the beginning. You can kind of maybe get an idea for how I construct it, but the pattern is very, very close to being finished, so that's going to be on Ravelry soon. I think I'm actually going to have to just put this on Ravelry before I make the pattern, or before I make the tutorial for the pattern, just because of like how long it's taking me to make it, and I know a lot of people really want the pattern, I guess. So I am going to put it up on Ravelry before the tutorial comes out, while I'm working on the tutorial, just so that you guys can work on it if you really want to before I come up with a tutorial. But you can kind of see the way that it's worked a little bit, just with the shape of the doll and the flow of the stitches. And I think when I made my first Yoshi, I made this white part its own separate piece, and then I like sewed them together or something at after making them. But this one is all one. It's all one piece of everything except for the leg, I guess. Like, well, I mean, you can see how the leg and the arms come on. So everything from the tip of the nose to the tail is all one piece, and then you add on the cheeks, the arms, and the legs later, and also the inside of the mouth and the eyes. So let me show you guys the more close to completion Yoshi. Let's have a look at it on this camera, just so that we can, so that I can show you the... I'm going to hold the tails up like this so that you can see what it looks like without them obscuring it.
Getting in the way.
I really love how the little spikes on the back of the head and the shell
little spikes
came out.
and a little shell, like backpack looking thing almost.
I know,
That's
right?
cute.
Yeah, it's coming along really, really nicely. I'm pretty excited about this pattern. So here's what I have so far. This time I decided to go with a embroidered eye instead of doing the wooden beads painted eye that I did the first time I made a Yoshi, just to kind of make it a little simpler on myself and easier to maybe put in a tutorial, because I know that it's going to be a lot harder to film and in an effective way for people to actually replicate it.
Yeah, and more familiar for people that do crochet all the time.
Exactly. And this was just way easier to do. This took me like 5 minutes.
Right, totally.
To like just sew on the iris and the pupil, and the shine on the eye is actually just the underneath whites of the eye that I just left it open.
Nice. That looks really good.
I think it has a nice cartoony aesthetic. I could, if I wanted to, go back around and like clean it up with some white around the edges to make it look more circular, I guess. But like, it looks pretty good for something I did in 5 minutes.
Right.
And I obviously haven't done the other eye yet, so I guess 10 minutes. And this one, you can see the mouth has already been sewn in. Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Okay, so you can see how they look before and after it's been sewn in. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Hopefully that Yoshi pattern will be done sometime later this week, actually, because I'm really, really close to having everything written down.
Be cute if you could make a little pair of wings to stick on Yoshi.
I've been wanting to make a wings tutorial for a while, just in general, because I want to make one that I can put on just dolls, just in general, totally. Like so that I can make dolls that have wings.
But Yoshi'd have such cute little ones.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, the goal is that the wings can be made in any size, though. So
that's true. I mean, right. You want to make it scalable.
Yeah, that's what I usually try to do with patterns that I'm making. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for the prompts. You know what?
There is that one next. So this is another doll this is a commission piece that I've been working on for a friend. This is going to be a bear girl. If you guys have seen any of my past videos, you might have seen my bunny girl and my cat girl that I've been working on. Yeah. And this is a new addition to that that art style, I guess. So this one's going to be a bear girl. And I don't think I've actually done any extra crocheting since I showed her to you last, but I have actually made her skeleton and stuffed her body. So she has a completely different look than she did last time I showed you. She's filled out a little bit. Completely filled out, and you can actually start to get an idea of what the body is going to look like in its final form now. So let me show you guys a close-up. Oh.
Looks like a golden bear on that.
Yeah, she looks a lot more golden in this shot than she does in the other camera. Have I made a Mario doll before? I don't think I have, actually. I don't think I have, no. Yeah, that's funny.
That is kind of funny.
You know, Steven Universe looks a lot like Mario, just, you know.
I know, right?
Just change the colors around,
just give him a mustache, throw a red hat on him.
I know, right? I could probably easily make something like that fairly simply. I would like to make like a set of like Mario and Peach and Luigi and, you know.
It'd be trippy to make a...
Oh god, a Waluigi would be ridiculous.
Oh, it'd be great.
He'd be so big.
Yeah, he would. He'd roll around real nice.
But,
I still think you should make a Boo.
I know,
you need to make a Boo for Halloween.
I know, and I want to make a Dry Bones too. There's a lot there that I could do.
So, in short, we've had Mario dolls on the mind. It's just
there's so much that I'm working on right now. Oh yeah, so like you said that this looks a bit more golden on this camera, and yes, that is true. I think I've been kind of toying with the idea of maybe potentially like bathing her in some like coffee or tea or something to kind of like give her to kind of give her coat like a little bit more like different like highlights and shades so that it's not just one flat color or something. Because, I mean, I do like this color, but it's, like, more of, like, a good base, I guess. And I think I would like to darken her a little bit because I would like her to have a little bit more of a darker color palette than this. Right. So I was thinking about maybe trying to, like, give her a bit more of, like, a darker shade, trying to, like, stain her in some way. Nice. But I'm not sure if I'll do that before or after I fluff her. It might be easier to do it after fluffing her, maybe. Yeah, no, because it might be easier to just stain the fluff and not have it seep into the doll itself, maybe. Right. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can get that done. But I would like to maybe darken her just a wee bit.
Totally.
Let me show you the booty. Yes, yeah. I know. I would love to make Birdo. I know. I'm working on all these Yoshis, so I definitely have to make Birdo. Yeah. Definitely, for sure. I have all those baby Yoshis, too. So, I mean, like, we could have a whole family. So, yeah, this is starting to look pretty good, in my opinion. I'm really liking the way that this body type looks. I'm excited to, like, write up patterns for other more interesting body types in the future. Than just the one that I've had forever.
Right. Totally.
I did do the muscular doll recently, so that was another new fun body type to work on, but it would be fun to work on some other new ones.
Super cute.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And the skeleton for this doll I made so thick because I know that it's going to need a really robust skeleton.
Well, she's big boned.
Well, she's going to have like a lot of fiber fill and material to just work against to hold certain poses. Yeah. And like I want her to be very poseable, so I gave her a really thick skeleton. This is like the same thickness of the skeleton that I gave the ponies.
Right.
Okay, so let's move on to our last couple things.
So we have our...
I showed you guys my doll head that I've been working on 2 weeks ago. I haven't really done that much work on it. I've just done a little bit more layering and like filling in some spaces. It probably would be finished if I had actually been like trying to finish it, but I've just been working on so much other... Excuse me. I've just been working on so much other stuff that I just haven't really gotten around to working on it that much.
So explain a bit in case, because I don't know if Ryan's seen this.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if either of you guys have seen this.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, because this is a bit of like a experimental project kind of that you've been messing with.
Right. So basically I made a head that was, I guess, kind of in the style of these dolls that I've been making. But I dipped it in Mod Podge and sanded it so that I can try to make a more traditional doll head, and you can kind of see it here a little bit. So I've been trying to use crochet and glue basically to try to make a more traditional style doll that I can just like repaint and dress like how you would any just basic doll, essentially.
To kind of end up with almost like a more hard plastic aesthetic a little bit. And especially more to be able to, so you can do the face painting and stuff.
So here's what I have so far. It's a little bit messy because I haven't sanded since the last time I layered some other glues on top. But I'm starting to get pretty happy with the results of what this is starting to look like. There's a couple of lumps here.
You can see a few little drip. Yeah. It's like they just cried.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I was layering some stuff and I kind of didn't put it to dry in maybe the best way, so it did kind of drip a little bit in a couple of spots, but it's looking pretty nice for the most part. I'm like I don't know, I'm just like, I like how the nose and the mouth are coming along, and I'm trying not to add too much like sculptiness to like bulk to it, I'm trying to not add too much like detail because I would rather paint the detail on for the most part.
So I think you're like,
I think I'm kind of done with detailing it. I'm just filling it now, and you can kind of still see the stitches in some of these spots that I haven't filled in the back. I haven't done any work on the back really yet. I just kind of like just layered glue on it once. I'm gonna leave most of the top of the head and the back of the head like just how it is for now, because I'm probably going to try to root hair into it.
Yeah, totally.
You can see that it's actually full of fiberfill right now because I like stuffed it with fiberfill to like kind of block it in place when I glued it one of the times. But yeah, it's getting really close to being done. I just have to do a little bit more fine sanding, and then I think I'm going to try to coat it in some epoxy to just kind of like finish it, and then hopefully that will be enough that I can just work on it at that point.
You can try like painting it or like...
Yeah, essentially. I just need to do a little tiny bit more filling at the side of the face and the very bottom of the back of the head, but everything up here I'm just going to leave as it is, and this I just really need to like sand it a little bit more. And it's pretty much done, so...
Yeah, no, I think it looks like really good. Like almost uncanny good.
I mean, I guess it would, wouldn't it? It doesn't have any like features except for that nose and mouth. I think maybe it'll look a little bit nicer once it's like completely like finished and sealed and painted, at least a flat color, because of the fact that you can really see through the stitches or see through the glues to the stitches a lot at this point. So it kind of gives it like a really like harsh kind of texture, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to finish this very soon, though. And hopefully it's a good experiment. But I was thinking, though, that with that pony, that I think I might try to use a similar technique to this to try to make the unicorn horn for it.
Right, yeah.
Just because I think it would be a lot simpler than trying to make a crocheted one, and it would just look nicer.
Totally.
Because if I make a crocheted one, it's going to look all like fuzzy, obviously, as crochet does, because it is made of fabric. It's like cloth, it's fibers. And it would be nice for it to have more of like this hard plastic, shiny, glossy type of aesthetic.
Right.
So it would be nice to kind of maybe just make the horn and then dip it and then sand it and then paint it and then that's it.
I know, I was almost thinking it'd be cool to, or to like make like a minotaur or something and be able to set in like hard like horns or something like that, or just different types of characters that would have like a more bone-like structure or something like that sticking out.
And that's another thing that I really liked about this. I mean, I didn't do a terribly good job of it because I wasn't trying to this time. But if I wanted to, I could have left it with this piece of yarn sticking off to use to sew it down to something. So if I was making the unicorn horn, for instance, I could just leave the tails in a way that they didn't get glued on. Like I could try to like cover them up with like, I don't know, like plastic wrap or something, just to protect them while I was doing it. And then I could uncover them at the end and then use them to sew the horn down to whatever thing if I use the same technique.
Yeah, because that would be...
Cast it in metal and make a keychain. I think that's a little out of my skill set.
You still got time. You're learning new things all the...
I know, right? But yeah, it's looking pretty good though.
Yeah, no, I think that looks
I could crazy. Even, like, I could totally, like, cast this in, like, something, though. Like, it's a decent, it's a decent piece. Like, I could definitely, like, get some of that, like, what is that random silicone mold putty stuff that people use, where you just stick something into a thing, and then you, like, and then it turns it into a silicone mold. Like, that's something that I could do with something like this also, like, just to make a mold of something randomly. Right.
We're just tripping on the versatility, though, that you could potentially.
Yeah, I know. There's technique. There's a lot that I can do with this, so I'm pretty excited about it. And there's one last thing.
One more thing. Any?
It's a bit of
intro ideas on this.
It's a bit of a saucy thing.
Getting a little saucy.
A little bit. So this is it's a fancy underwear piece. This is actually a free pattern on Ravelry if you like look for if you just Google like crochet thong, I think it'll probably pop up. But it's like it's a pineapple pattern lace black thong that I started making, and I finished making it, but I think there's a couple of improvements to the pattern that I would like to make. Here is the full piece. It's a really, really nice lace piece. I'll show you on the closer camera, but you can really already see how nice of a lace piece it is. It's a cool pattern. It's got some problems, but you know, I think it might be originally in German, so the English translation is just a little bit like it's a little bit
yeah, because I know you're a little frustrated going through it.
Well, there's like a couple of little things that they just don't really say, and then they do that thing where they say, "Oh, repeat this part, but then do this differently," and it's like. But you know, I'm not gonna. It's a free pattern, so you know,
I know, right?
No shade. So let me show you guys these pineapples closer up because I love pineapples. They look so good.
Right? They're so yummy.
Could you hand me the water? Actually, I'm really thirsty. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. So you guys can just like check out these pineapples. But yeah, it's a pretty cool motif. I really like how it kind of like swoops up and around like that, and it's just like a really nice. I think I kind of messed up this part too. I think I was only supposed to like I think I was supposed to make this part a little bit thinner, and I didn't. But it still works. It's still fine. It's I measured it against like other pre-existing underwears that were like the same size and or that were like a similar size, and it did seem to match the thickness, despite the fact that the pattern wanted it to be like literally like a tiny little string that was like this thick.
Right.
But yeah, it worked pretty well. There was a couple of things that were like that were a little bit unclear, and I guess I ended up making a couple of mistakes, and I had to like go back and like literally like chop out a portion and frog it, but and like fix it real quick before anything unraveled, and then sew in all the ends because I did not want to frog all the way back to the beginning with this complicated freaking pattern. Because I think I didn't realize what they said until I got to like literally all the way over here, because it does start like way back here and end way up here.
Right.
And that's another thing that's pretty impressive, is that it's almost a solid piece. The only thing that's like separately added on afterward is the ties on the back. These two here.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I was impressed. I'm always impressed when something is mostly one solid piece. That's what I tried to do with a lot of my designs too. Right. But yeah, there's a couple of improvements that I would make, and then also I feel like the ties, the placement of the ties kind of make it like way too high waisted, if that makes sense.
Like the bands come like really high.
They come way high up, so I think I might actually like add another like strap to it somehow, maybe potentially. I don't know. I don't know. Just
got to put it on. We got to draw some lines on you.
And then also, because of the aesthetic of the pattern, obviously it would look a lot nicer if it was like with a lighter background behind it. So I think I might actually line this with a nude fabric.
Right.
And like that will make it like a little bit more like covered up, I guess. Not that, I mean, it's a thong, so I mean, how covered up can it get? But I think it would make the pattern of it stand out a little bit nicer if it had a background color.
Yeah, if it had like a matte,
like a lighter, straight background color that didn't have any like shadows or anything like that. If it was just like there to be a backdrop to the pattern of the lace. So I might try to go out and find like some nice nude leggings to chop up and partially use for this and partially use for something else.
Yeah.
But I think my pineapples came out pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It looks pretty nice, right? I love pineapples. I would also like to make like a matching like bikini for this or something. That would be nice. Like a top, I guess.
Yeah, make an accompanying.
Yeah, because that's something that this free. Yeah, because that's something that this pattern doesn't have. It's only the bottom. It doesn't have a top. So it would be cool to take this this motif of pineapple and just translate it to a bikini top. It doesn't seem like it would be hard to do at all. It seems like it would be relatively easy. It would literally just be like the exact same thing as this, except more than one pineapple. It would be like this middle section here, probably. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm getting ahead of myself.
I know, right?
But yeah, it would probably be pretty easy to do.
Engineering thoughts.
But so this is supposedly done, but I don't think it is.
Right.
Because I think I would like to add some extra ties, maybe one down here and like joining up to here, and
it's like you finished the pattern, but it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the lining would be nice as well. And it would be nice for it to have a gusset too, which is the little piece of cotton that's usually at the crotchal area of a pair of underwear to like, I guess, to moisture wick or whatever. But yeah, that's that would be nice to have, because it's just always nice to have. It's just always nice to have a gusset. Here, let's disappear for a minute so you guys can see the whole pattern in its full glory.
Yeah, no, that looks
it came out pretty nice, right?
It's aesthetic.
Yeah,
Super loves pineapple lace. Yeah, I agree.
I love pineapple lace. Nice. It looks lovely. We have a set of curtains in our bedroom that's got pineapple lace that I made, and I am in love with pineapple lace. I'm gonna add some to our lamp. I'm gonna add some to my dress. Add some to my body.
Just put a pineapple
just tattoo pineapples all over my face.
Oh, that'd be
just
like maybe
everything.
Not on your face. But
was that a bit much?
A tattoo of a pineapple stitch like
that would be cute, right? That would be pretty cute.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cute. But yeah, pineapple stitches are like my favorite. Okay, well, that's our last whip, you guys.
Yeah, that was...
Let me show you guys.
Saved our saucy whip for last.
Yeah, the saucy whip was for last. Hopefully we don't get demonetized for this.
Oh, no.
Here, I'm going to fold. I'm going to fold in the middle so that you can kind of see the full pattern of this.
I know, right?
So saucy.
But yeah, agreed. A top matching this would look really nice.
Yeah, I would love to make a top to match this. And I mean, the pattern for this is free. It's on Ravelry if you guys want to find it. I don't remember maybe later I'll add the pattern to the description of this video if you guys want to look it up.
In the description below.
In the future it will be. It's definitely not right now.
Not right now. Not during the stream, but for you guys in the archive.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll throw a pattern up there later, and I will try to work on a matching top, and then I'll throw a pattern for that up at some point. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for us this time, you guys.
That's it for this week, and that's the last whip of this month.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is the last WIP of this month.
So that means we're going to be.
So now I've got plenty of time to work on some other stuff for the next time.
So that was another thing you kind of want to talk about, just the whole.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, because you guys may have noticed that most of the tutorials that have been coming out lately have been my beginner series, and that's because a lot of the projects that I've been working on, like Hand Me That Yoshi, for instance, is like. It's like a really large scale, like there's a lot of parts to this project. Like I was making the pattern for this earlier, and it's just kind of like overwhelming, like how many little bits there are that you have to make. And you can imagine that this tutorial it's forever, you know, it's going to take forever. So like I do want to get that pattern out, so I'm going to just put that ahead of time. Same thing with something like this. Like this is a completely new experiment. So I have been trying to do little tutorials here and there just to kind of like keep the channel from getting like eaten by the YouTube algorithm.
I know, right? Just so that way we basically keep the channel active and are constantly trying to put stuff
this
out.
live stream does help a lot with that, and we really appreciate that you guys like show up for watching the stream every time,
just watching the stream,
and like
activity,
engaging in the chat, like
commenting.
Yeah, it helps.
Like,
it definitely helps a lot to like keep the channel like active, so that when I do post my big tutorials, people actually see them. Because that is another problem that I have, is that a lot of people will ask me like, oh, can you make this Yoshi? Can you make a pattern for it? Make the tutorial. But then when I do make things like that, like my Steven Universe video or my ponytail or things like that, they don't do nearly as well as things like how to single crochet. You know what I mean?
It's things with just more like, general mass appeal, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Or like some of my like super basic like doll making videos that still get like the majority of the views for my channel. So it's like, as much as I really want to do like a lot of these videos that you guys want me to do for like specific amigurumi dolls that I'm trying to do, like those things take a lot of time, and with the amount of views that they get, it's just really hard to make them without like them just falling completely under the radar. So I do want to try to keep making small little content. That's another reason why I want to do that Rainbow Unicorn Mane video, because I know that that's something that's going to maybe be a little bit more it's going to be a little bit faster for me to actually get it out, so I can like add another video to the channel while I'm working on trying to make a tutorial for this Yoshi, and for the for like working on all my gems that I've been trying to work on, because I would like to make a video for like all of their clothing pieces, which I haven't even started yet. So it's like
there's so much.
There's a lot that I have to do.
Projects and constantly having a lot in your head at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is why sometimes we don't always have a whole lot for certain WIP Wednesday streams.
Yeah, true.
And like, or especially with projects like that, or like with our little head that, you know, it's...
Yeah, because like, because it's like completely uncharted. First of all, like it's like not something that I'm like following anybody else's tutorial or pattern on. Like everything that I'm doing is all original content, so it does take a lot of time. But yeah, I'm just super glad that like you guys have been like still sticking with us and watching the channel and like engaging with all the content and everything. And that's gonna be it for us this time.
That's it for this week, this month. We will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. I don't know when that is. We can check the calendar.
Might as well.
Next week is the 3rd, so we're taking 4th of July week off, I guess. So we're going to be back on the 10th of July.
10th of July. That's when you'll catch us next.
Yep. At 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, PM, by the way, if it's not obvious from what time it is now.
I know, right? I got work. Can't do it in the morning.
I know, right? Maybe someday we'll do a morning stream, but
maybe one day. But so thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for chatting with us.
Steve and Ryan. It's nice seeing you guys.
Yeah, it was really nice seeing you guys in the chat again. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.